A while ago, I made a video on the Cube SMP, going over the SMP and where all their members ended up. That video became one of my most popular videos of all time, and even got shouted out by King Tong, which is pretty cool. However, when I look back on the video, I'm disappointed in a few things I did. I think I should have probably waited to get a better microphone to try and mess around with the audio settings more. It would have been cool to try and include people like Taokyo and 8-Bit Homo since they were in so many Cube UHCs. But, most importantly, I think I should have touched on the fact that the Cube SMP was very similar to the Dream SMP. Their fanbase was mostly teenage girls who acted very similarly to the Dream stands of today. In fact, I was kind of an outlier, as when the Cube was going on, I was just a 10-year-old boy who mostly watched it for the UHC events they did. That kind of blinded me to the huge connection I could have made between the two SMPs. Occasionally, I did find something that seemed odd while researching for the Cube video. For example, I never realized how much shipping happened in the Cube community. There are entire videos and Wattpad stories dedicated to shipping two creators together, not unlike what is going on with the Dream SMP. Not only that, but I also found an old drama alert about this guy named Bacon, who now goes by further than Dan. Dan was an associate of the Cube, and the drama alert accused Dan of trying to solicit sex from a 14-year-old fan when he was 20. Now, from what I could tell, these accusations were false, as even if Dan really had all done this, the fan was actually 24 years old. As for the shipping, I just wrote it off as nothing more than fan behavior. In hindsight, I should have been more critical. On March 6th, 2021, the small streamer Kayla Britty released a YouTube video talking about her experience being groomed. Kayla had been in the Minecraft community for a long time, participating in events such as UHC on Air, and becoming friends with a lot of the Cube SMP members. Kayla was even in Cube SMP Season 4. In the video, she claims that she was between the ages of 15 and 16 when she was being groomed. Her groomer was between the ages of 19 and 20. This means that the alleged grooming happened between 2013 and 2014. She does not say who was the person that groomed her, but she does say it was a Cube member who is no longer active in the community. The video did not get that much attention, but the video was backed up by ex-Cube member Devin Does Games and people closely associated with the Cube such as 8-Bit Homo and Positive Angie. After Kayla came out with her story, many other girls in the community also came out and said that they too had been abused by Cube members, or at least people close to the Cube. These girls included two other streamers, Amethyst and CJades, who have been around in the community for a while and were also in the last Cube SMP season. That is really all we know so far. The only Cube member to comment on it, to my knowledge, was Devin Does Games. Now the first thing a lot of you are probably thinking about right now is if there is any evidence. Ever since Lazo and Pro Jared were falsely accused of being weirdos back to back in 2019, most people want to see a lot of evidence before they try to accuse anybody of anything. From what I have seen, the only person to provide any evidence was Kayla. I am in no way an expert in grooming or DMs, but I think the screenshots Kayla provided, if real, would paint a picture of Kayla being groomed by whoever she's talking to. However, there's really no way to verify the validity of these screenshots. But, even considering the lack of substantial evidence, I still think these allegations are most likely true. As I said in the beginning of the video, the majority of the Cube's fanbase were teenage girls eager to ship the members and themselves with each other. An environment like that can open the door for grooming to occur. I just talked about a situation where this exact thing happened. I also mentioned previously how further from Dan was accused of grooming in 2015. Although those allegations were proven false, it is still possible that they were based on some truth. I'm not saying Dan really did groom anyone, but it's possible that whoever made the allegations just mixed up Dan and some other person related to the Cube. Another thing is that there is no reason to lie about this. If Kayla, Amethyst, and all the other girls are trying to expose someone for clout, and their plan certainly did not work. I only found out about this situation a few days after it happened, and I'm one of the biggest Cube enthusiasts out there. Kayla also said in her video that she did not want to cancel anybody and hate cancel culture. It was simply sharing her story to try and show other potential victims of sexual abuse that they were not alone. Lastly, if this was really all one big conspiracy to cancel the Cube SMP, why not name the people who did the grooming? If they really did want to ruin someone's career, they would name someone. Instead, it seems more like Kayla just wanted to share their experience of being sexually abused by someone, and that person just so happened to be a popular Minecraft YouTuber. A big question I'm sure everyone watching right now might have is, well, who is it then? What Cube SMP members were the sexual predators so people know to stay away from them? Now, I think I have a pretty good idea of who Kayla and the other girls are talking about, but I don't think it's my place to say. Again, if they did want to say who it was, they would have done so. However, I will go over some people who I think 100% were not involved. This is not me saying, oh, I know those members, they would never do something like this. It's just that I can literally rule out these members because they were the same age as Kayla, and they've had to be grooming literal 10-year-olds in order for it to actually count as grooming. Private Fearless, Poke, That One Tomahawk, and Tofu were all Cube members that were the same age or younger than Kayla. And Minecraft for Meh, Taokyo, Hyper, Finn's Graphics, and The Best Ginger were all associates of the Cube, and are also all younger or the same age as Kayla as well. Kayla also said that the person who groomed her is no longer in the community, and this could very well be the case for the other girls who came out as well, so that comment factors out a lot of people that you may be thinking of right now. Another thing I briefly want to mention is that I have seen some people blame everyone in the Cube SMP for what happened with the groomers. To a certain extent, I do agree that the community they all made was pretty toxic. However, I think it is pretty unfair to say that all of the Cube is responsible. I suppose that, at the end of the day, the people making this claim probably know more than I do, but from what has been publicly revealed, I don't think it's fair I come to this conclusion. As stated previously, a lot of the members or associates of the Cube were just as young as the girls being groomed. They were probably either too naive to understand what was going on, or didn't know how to handle it. Even for the older members, there really was not a precedent for grooming in the Minecraft community like there is today. The Cube existed from 2013 to 2016, which means that scandals like Linemaker and Basher were years away when it first began. I can understand someone's frustration if certain content creators knew what was going on and not try to stop it. When you're in the moment having to make that decision, I think it is understandable someone might not always do the right thing. But again, the people making this accusation probably know more than me, so take what I'm saying here with a grain of salt. After reviewing this situation, I feel like this is the perfect reason why people like me, Hugbox, Josh, and other people go so hard on stans. One infamous part of stan culture is that there are a lot of, usually underage, girls fiercely shipping two creators that like together and write fanfiction about them. This creates a very sexual community with a lot of minors, and it can lead to creators taking advantage of their fans. This is what happened here. The Cube community had a lot of underage fangirls sexualizing their favorite creators, that led some of the creators to sexualize them back. I'm in no way blaming the girls here, it is solely on the creators themselves to make sure that the clear boundaries are set, that they aren't taking advantage of their fans. I can kind of see this happening with the Dream SMP and their stans. Dream and his friends aren't setting clear boundaries with their fans and are allowing themselves to be sexualized. And with incidents like these, you can see why a lot of people might be uncomfortable and suspicious of this behavior. One last thing I want to touch on is what I would do with my Cube SMP documentary. On one hand, I feel like I should take it down considering it is likely that at least one or more of the people I mentioned are sexual predators. On the other hand, I feel as if it is an important video not for just this channel, but also for YouTube. All of people's childhood memories are of watching the Cube SMP members play on that server. All of the biggest creators today came from that group. It seems wrong to remove a video that is documenting a part of YouTube history. To compromise, I will be linking the video you are watching now in the description, in the comment, and also create an info card for it at the very beginning of the Cube documentary. The sad truth about the Cube SMP is that it is very likely that the group contains some people who abuse their power and influence over their underage fans. It is a story not uncommon on YouTube, and I don't think this sad trend will be going away anytime soon. If there's anything to learn from this story, just know that some content creators will try to take advantage of you. Some YouTubers just want to abuse their power for personal benefit and do not care if they hurt people in the process. At the end of the day, the people you look up to online are strangers. It is best if you do not grow too attached to anyone on a personal level. I think that's it for this video. Stay safe out there.